Today on Jeffy Lube, we're going to be changing the battery sensor that measures amperage for the Cadillac ATS V. If you have watched any of my videos, I replaced the alternator in this a few months ago because the other one died. It was a high output alternator that I guess was in there for a big stereo that the previous owner had. Anyways, that ended up failing, so I replaced it with a brand new GM part and had no issues. Started up, charges fine. It actually still charges without an issue. Occasionally I get this message on the dash that says battery saver mode active, which is basically saying that it's going to start turning off systems in order to save the battery or the charging system. I've not noticed any weird behavior such as things turning off, the radio, AC, etc. So it seems like it's a erroneous code. There are no check engine lights. There's no service engine, no body control module codes. And I tried doing a little testing by the factory service manual on this battery sensor, which is in the trunk area. I couldn't determine if it's actually bad, but it seemed like an intermittent fault, which kind of points to some kind of sensor or something else not reading correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and change this out. This is a $14 part, and it shouldn't take more than a few minutes. I'm going to have to get access to the battery to see if I can get this battery sensor off from the other end of this custom battery cable. To do this, you'll remove these Christmas trees here, as well as remove this trim piece with a Torx 45. So looking at this, it appears both these terminals are rather large. There's no way that'll come off either end. I either need to shave down one of these terminals a little bit to get some room, or I may need to buy a new battery terminal. So I did have to modify the negative battery terminal because the terminals were just too big. So as you can see in this picture, the one on the left is what I modified. I slightly cut off the ends of the terminal. This was a custom cable, as I said in other videos. This guy had a big stereo, and so he had a power wire running directly from the alternator up front for the amp. And then he also upgraded all the negative battery terminals to almost 0 gauge wire, which is a lot bigger than factory. So now I'll be able to put the new battery sensor on here, tape it to the wire like it should be from the factory, and hopefully that will resolve my issue. As mentioned earlier in the video, this is the part number that I'm going to be replacing the stock battery sensor with. Hopefully this fixes everything. So just wrapped up the install. And if you notice, I did make sure to tape the battery sensor back on, and it must be in this orientation. That's what it looks like from the factory. I know there's an aftermarket wire, but you want the little fin that comes out of the battery sensor to actually be on the back and the flat front facing the negative battery terminal. I don't know if that makes a difference from a reading perspective, probably not, but since OEMs did it that way, might as well put it back that way. Now we're going to reassemble the trunk, and that should be it. If I were to do this job again, I'd probably just buy the negative battery terminal from GM. It comes with the battery sensor. I didn't know that this was an aftermarket negative battery cable, so I had to modify it, which took a little bit more time, but still overall only about 30-40 minutes tops. This is a very easy job. And if you can't track down really what's causing that battery active saver mode, check that battery sensor and see if that's been replaced or if it's missing, because otherwise you might have some other check engine lights and whatnot. But I appreciate everybody joining. If you like the content on the ATS V, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel because I'll be doing more videos on it here soon. Thanks.